Hi, I am Mats, and in this video tutorial series for Unreal Engine I will be covering some of the key concepts and tools about Unreal to get you up and running as fast as possible. The main use case for these videos is meant to be a helpful source of information for you with the homework tasks for the University of Tartu's computer graphics course and its game engines module, to be more precise. By no means is this an exhaustive source for information, and I really do recommend you take a look around the web for more sources. So actually, before we get to downloading the engine and the launcher, let's take a quick look at what is available. First off, we have the documentation page, which has a wealth of information that you can use, ranging from getting started guides to the engine C++ API reference. And you can find this documentation page at docs.unrealengine.com. Next up, we have the Unreal Academy, which is a new learning resource at the time of this recording. It has a lot of courses that should provide you with a good learning path for much of the features, be it more beginner-oriented or more advanced. And there's also some extra features like quizzes and sample files and other things that might also be really useful. You can find this at learn.unrealengine.com. Next up, we have the Unreal Engine forums at forums.unrealengine.com. There are many users of Unreal Engine that frequent this, asking questions, sharing their work, as well as answering other people's questions. So this can be a more useful resource for finding some very specific things that you might not be able to suss out by looking at the documentation, for example. Another place to check out might be the Unreal Engine YouTube channel. In here, you can find a bunch of tutorial series, sizzle reels about the engine, so you can see all the cool stuff that other people have made in the engine, as well as Unreal Engine live streams, where Epic Games employees go into more detail about some of the features. Last up, we have the Unreal Slackers community on Discord that you can check out if you want to talk to other Unreal Engine developers. Also, do feel free to write to your instructor, as well as in the computer graphics mailing list. Next up, let's actually get to downloading the engine itself. For that, navigate to unrealengine.com, its homepage, and there should be this download button on the top right here. Click this. If you do not have an Epic Games user, you are prompted to create one here. If you do have one, you can also sign in, do these steps, and download the Epic Games Launcher installer. Once you have the launcher installed, open it up and log into your account. Once you have done that, you should be greeted with something similar to this. Nowadays, the Epic Games Launcher is also a storefront for games. But if you want to, in the settings, you can tick the hide game library flag. And once you have done this, all the tabs related to games will be hidden from your view. But what we care about right now is the Unreal Engine section itself. So let's navigate there. In the very first tab here, you can see a bunch of information and news and coming streams and things that might be interesting to you. Also links to the Unreal Engine YouTube channel, news, Answer Hub, and so on. Next up, we have the Learn tab. In here, you have a bunch of actual Unreal Engine projects that you can use to check out how different things have been put together. I really do recommend checking out the content examples map, where you have samples of the different features that you can dissect and rewire and see what you can come up with. Also, you have the links for the documentation, the Unreal Academy, as well as the community wiki. Next up, we have the Marketplace tab. In here, you have assets and tools released by many authors that you can use in your own projects. Many of them are paid, but there are also many free resources, also resources by Epic Games themselves that can be really useful. When it comes to this course, we will not be using any of these assets as a mandatory part. But if you do want to, you can check them out. And next up, we finally get to actually installing the engine itself. All of the things regarding the engine installs and projects and assets that you have available to you are located in the library folder here. The very first section is dedicated to the engine versions that you have installed. These versions are the pre-compiled binary versions made by Epic Games themselves. You can add new engine versions by clicking this yellow plus button here. When you click the down arrow, you can select different versions starting from the 4.01 to 4.23, which is the most recent one at the time of this recording. As I have all the latest versions installed already, I won't be adding a new one here. But if you do want to, you can also remove or verify the versions that you do have installed. The entire source code for the engine is available on GitHub that you can use for your projects. So you can actually compile the engine from source yourself and modify any part of it that you want. Next up is the My Projects section. In here you will see all the projects Epic Games Launcher has found on your system. Under this, you will have the Unreal Studios section. We will not be covering this when it comes to this course. But this is a set of useful tools that you might want to use if you're dealing with architectural visualization projects or other CAD data that you might want to visualize in a real-time setting in Unreal Engine. Next up is the Vault that contains all of the assets that you own. These are all the things from the marketplace as well as the Learn Tab. Yours might be empty now, but it will populate as you add different assets and tools to your library. In the next video, we will be covering the creation of your first Unreal Engine project and getting you started on your way for the first home task.